Hello and welcome back to the SWAN Pricing Show. My name is Filip Vucic. I'm a pricing mentor.
And I'm Philip Zolota, business mentor.
So, we wanted to talk about the SWAN duck difference between, well, design rules for the offer. Because in the what we call the duck world, in the commoditized services space, you know, you call up a caterer, they ask how many people, you say 20. He said menu one, two, or three. Three. Okay. So let me calculate that for you. 20 people, 68. Okay, that's how much it is, including the tip. Thank you very much. So what offer? What UX? What rules? You know? Um, but that's for hamburgers. That's for cakes. That's for things that I can see online and be reasonably sure to know what they are, right? And as you said in the pre-show, a website is not that. There's $1,000 website, there's $1 million website. They're very different websites, right? Um, so how much for the website is a completely nonsensical question.
Yeah, no matter the previous experience and kind of average pattern you've experienced as the expert in service provider, because every request or requirement is very individual, depending on the true needs, the scope, and similar. The same as in web development, the same as with other expertise services. So yeah, as you said.
Yeah. So I wrote recently about the five laws in UX, which can be applied to well, SWAN like services, expertise-based services, to make them easier for the client because it's not as easy as what you want times how many times you want it. It's just not for many of us, right? Because with has the beer been delivered or not delivered? It's a zero or it's a one, right? But have you been coached? What what does that mean? It's right. Um, my friend my friend Adam calls this the difference between the switch and the lever kind of service. So one is on or off, and the other is to what degree have you
Yeah.
been coached, right? So talking about UX stuff, UX laws, so that you can use to make an offer look better. And I would like you to comment each of these as if you can.
Absolutely.
So first one is something called the Jacob's Law. People trust the familiar, right? So you need your offer needs to mirror some existing offer shapes that the clients will recognize. So um, it's good to be uh, aware of how the industry looks like, right? Like Chloe Nwangu said, industry aware but distinct. So that's important. And of course, you want to make yours look smarter, be better in some way, but it needs to have at least some familiar. You can't completely go, and how about I charge you per person that comes to my talk and not, because that's what sometimes works, it usually doesn't, usually confuses them. I've seen recently a response to the offer.
Mhm.
I guarantee, I would bet good money that that the client didn't even read it because it was thick. They were like, yeah, we're too conservative for this. So I think if they actually read it, they would be satisfied. But they skimmed and they were like, I don't recognize any of this. You know, no.
I agree completely with you because people are often trying to be creative about the presentation. And yeah, the number of pages simply doesn't cut it. That is for sure. And also, you don't need to try or force the substance within the document. As I said, there is a usable standard which is relevant and informative enough for the audience because all the substance will be in prior or conversations later from the consultancy and everything else. Uh, there is no winning type of document in that respectable realm. So you need to nurture the simplicity by all means and some standards depending on the industry and as you mentioned previously. And absolutely, I agree with that. And as you also mentioned, I saw some of the very creative documents, both from visual standpoint and content standpoint. And it was strange for the audience checking the document. Yeah, I don't understand anything. Can you please explain? And the point is, if the audience is already having some existing friction with the document initially, okay, what is behind after we start engaging with them? So you're opening up and creating practically unaware additional potential red flags. You don't want to have them in the conversation with them.
Feel like they will have to be checking and rechecking what you're telling them because
Yeah,
they don't understand the first thing that you said, right?
exactly.
Okay. So secondly, we should talk about options because that's this tautology that says people want more options and are happier with less, right? And the second law is Hicks law. So more options means more hesitation. People want to give a good service, and then they offer the whole buffet. You can have it like this, or you can have it like that, or you can combine it like this, and they get lost. You know, which one is the good one? I want the good one.
Yeah. Choose,
Uh,
choose, choose. It's a paralysis in the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
So 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 it all. I mean, I got inspired by this old. Now it's old. Now it's quarter of a century old book almost. Don't make me think by Steve Krug, right? It was on website design back in the day. So yeah, you know, make it obvious. If you recognize yourself in this, take this. If you recognize in that, take that. We've talked several times on the show how to do this, but endless options are not better. You're just pushing. You can't decide what to offer, so you're offloading that to the client. It's heavy; they're gonna fall,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
yeah,
One thing I wanted to add here. You reminded me of one specific scenario. You often see in expertise-based world, kind of even with the pricing tariffs and similar free offers overall. And the problem with them often is that the third or middle option is generally a combination between some basic or advanced stuff. And people actually trying to craft that special middle tier offer, whatever, they're pulling their hair to come up with something meaningful. My point there, it's meaningless. It's opposite of being productive. Give two relevant estimates and scopes, and then craft the stuff with the within the conversation with the respective client and partner, which is actually meaningful for them. Other way around, just pulling out from your sleeve additional options, as you said, yeah, it's
forced
bad.
options are obvious. Although
Yeah,
I just had and I will have in 2 weeks a workshop on creating three prices. So
nice.
either don't do it or come to the workshop and try it for yourself. And it's it's a build as we talk kind of a thing. But yes, forced options are completely obvious. Sometimes people force the lowest one. So they
Yeah,
have the normal one. It's easy to go up, but what would I take out? What do I dare take out?
yeah,
Right? But as we talked before, nobody needs or deserves not everybody needs or deserves your 100%.
Yeah.
Some people are completely happy with 20% of what you can do for 30% of the price. You happy, they're happy, everybody's happy, right? Um, so anyway, yeah, options are not better because because there's many of them. So curate, collapse, combine, cut the bloat. The next one is Miller's Law. So human minds can judge plus minus five, five plus minus two things at the same time. So if they made experiments, they asked people to remember things, and some people could remember seven, some people could remember three, most people could remember five at the same time. So you can juggle that many thoughts. Not more than that. So if you include even within an option, if you include and these are the 20 features that we offer. These are the 20 things that I'm going to do for you. I'm going to pour the coffee. I'm going to stir the coffee. Dude. Uh, so your offer should have high level 4 bullet points. So give them the benefit of a doubt that they can juggle more than three, but not five.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
three is okay, four is fine, five is pushing it. Because with every bullet point that you add, you reduce the chance that all of them are going to be read, and you don't know which one of them they're going to drop. And that's not a game that I like to play. So 4 bullet points. Okay. So any experiences there?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we mentioned in the pre-show, absolutely. Short and sweet, as you said, and one good tool being used in crafting the proposal, except being a one pager and just put it out there simple and easy. It is good that you put in the document eventually one more bullet, which is only a note as the reference to your previous conversation, because you are in some way transferring the accountability around the proposal on the prospect, which is good because other way around, you would be specifying crazy amount of stuff in the doc and nobody is actually reading it. So that is also good practice. And the second thing is you are also kind of putting aside the option of comparing apples to strawberries, which is often happening in expertise-based world when the prospects are having a shitload of numerous pages proposals in front of their face. So yeah,
Yes. Yes, yes. It's important to point at the differences because maybe there's 20 things you need to tell them, but 15 of these things they already know,
yeah,
right? So tell them. No, I used to have a bit where I said I'm going to describe my wife to you. Okay, she has 2 eyes, one nose, and 2 ears, and hair. Right? Are these points correct? Yes, all of them. Are they relevant? No, I'm wasting your time and mine. So if she had one eye, that would be descriptive. If she had three, that would be super descriptive. Two is just wasting your time. So people say, but this is correct. This is just a slight detour. My job was for a while to do spin-offs, and then we made names for the spin-offs. And one of them said, "Well, this name, it's bad. It's not descriptive at all. You can't tell what the spin-off does at all from it." I said, "Okay. So how many apples did Apple sell?" End of conversation. Thank you. Uh, right. Um, right, moving on.
yeah.
Fitz law. So in UX they say the closer and the bigger the button, the faster the click. It's here for us. It's the call to action. That's the button on a button equivalent on an offer, right? So I always make a habit of making exactly one sentence bold in an offer, and that sentence is, "What do I want you to do next?" And when I'm working with clients, I usually say, let's say that we're magic here, okay? And that we're going to hypnotize the client into doing exactly one simple thing, saying one thing out loud, doing something, calling somebody, just one thing. What do you want from them? Let's say you can have it. What is it?
Hmm.
Right? So that's um, it makes sense to invest in making the next step feel obvious.
Yeah.
Now I'm betting you you know some horror story there.
Absolutely. Numerous. I cannot now extract the specific one, but what I can say and comment, they all were look-alike scenarios and situations overall, especially in that respectable realm, and also combined with overall understanding of the scope on the executive level and how many deals weren't actually closed because things were, at least at the first sight, overly complicated. While when somebody else explained on a more simple level, the fact, the figures, and everything, it was pretty much straightforward. And the thing I mentioned previously, it's about the friction. You don't want to complicate stuff to your prospects. Never, but specifically not in the early stage of conversation and engaging in business collaboration for sure.
So the other day it was a joke, but you know how a backend developer thinks, right? You know, a user interface. We don't need that. People will just use the API to order food. It's fine. It's simple. Everybody knows how to do that. And I mean, you could absolutely access GPT, not Chat GPT, but GPT, a couple of years before everybody started doing it. But it was not a simple interface. So Chat GPT is Chat GPT because of the chat part, right? Um, and you can say that that's just access. There's nothing just about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's And finally, as an agency owner, you'll I think you said you like this one the most. So this is not technically called the law, but it's used like so the aesthetic usability effect, right? Beauty builds trust. People say, "Oh yeah, you just throw something together. The language doesn't matter, the typography doesn't matter, the letters. Is it just some colors? Take some random ones. It's yeah, I know, orange and gray, right?" Um, and people uh, flinch sometimes when they say, how do I how do I make people take me seriously and take my value seriously? And the first thing that I say, which is usually a bit tongue in cheek, but have you heard of design? I mean, that's yeah. People like to own beautiful things, and they can't be just beautiful. They can't be hot garbage. They have to make sense first. They have to have the potential to do what you want them to do and look the part.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly as you're saying, because you're already pre-built with a potential client or customer, the expectation and level of expectation. So if you are detouring in any way from that specific point, which is, we can even say, some kind of a standard, it can be problematic or rising a red flag there. And as you said, it's not only about design, the substance information, in short, format so anybody can truly understand it, or with minimum additional input and or explanation. And that is all about, especially when talking with decision makers. It's not about it's not the stuff that okay, decision makers are some arrogant assholes and similar. No, they want to make meaningful decision based on the input, and all of the stuff and entire path is not wasting their time. So they can actually focus on stuff they are perceiving as relevant. And that is respect their time, and that's it. It's pretty much straightforward. In the end, as I said previously, how you want to be served or handle whatever, do the same for your audience. It's pretty much simple from there and from that point.
Um, so I had an architect client a fairly long
Mm-hmm.
time ago, and he said, "Okay, so my website doesn't look like I updated it in 12 years because I haven't. But who cares? That's that's not my job." I said, "Yes, but that's like showing up to a business meeting in bunny slippers. I mean, who cares?" Right? You got there. But nobody's going to pay attention to what you can do or what you can say. They're going to be focusing on the obviously wrong thing in the picture, right? So I think that's Coco Chanel, right? When you dress without style, they notice the clothes. When you dress with style, they notice the woman. That's that's the idea, right? You don't want people to notice your design. They want you want them to notice the quality, and the design is there to basically support it. Otherwise, it's a wireframe. It's nothing,
Yeah.
right? It's skeleton, let's say. So I think the key question here, when you look at your offer, can you, with a straight face, say, I have purposefully made this offer easy to say yes to. So uh, I invested a significant time and effort to make this easy to say yes to. So if you can look in the mirror and say yes to that statement without smirking uh, or bursting into tears, then you're probably fine, right? I just want to go over the laws names one more time. I have them here,
Mm-hmm.
so people can look them up. They're all real. They're all on Wikipedia. I didn't read them out loud because they're mostly made for designers.
Yep.
But I think they're interesting in this very, very, very narrow thing of designing your offer. And I don't necessarily, except by the last point, mean making it beautiful. I mean making it readable, easy to use. So Jacob's law, people trust the familiar. Hicks law, more options, more hesitation. Miller's law, human minds can only juggle five things. Let's be generous.
Mm-hmm.
Fitz law, the closer and the bigger the CTA, the better. And the aesthetic usability effect, beauty builds trust. Cool. So, this was again, I think on the shorter side of an episode, but I think we've been efficient. Where can people find you, Philip?
People can find me on LinkedIn and also on my mentorship page, philipzalata.com.
So for me, it's fearless-pricing.com. And of course, LinkedIn, where I'm having these build your three offer price the right way kind of thing right now. Thank you and see you next time.
Yeah.